Well, it'll take time for me to review all 3 games in the Sane Trilogy, so I figured I'd take this opportunity to review a game that I've actually been playing a lot recently. What game is that, you might be asking? This game being another Mario Kart clone featuring Pac-Man. Wait, Pac-Man in a kart racer? Interesting. Yeah folks, today we're looking at Pac-Man World Rally. Yay? Now, like Billy and Mandy, I'm playing the GameCube version. Pac-Man World Rally was developed by Namco Bandai and SmartBomb Interactive. It was released in August of 2006 for PS2, GameCube, PC, and PSP. Sorry, Xbox players. When you start the game up, you are greeted with the opening FMV. The PC version does not have this for various reasons. This FMV shows what you are about to play, although most of it is beta gameplay shown at events like E3. For example, Cloud Garden has 3 laps, when it actually has 5. The title screen shows the logo, a power pellet, and Pac-Man getting chased by the usual 4 ghosts. If you stay idle long enough, you see Pac-Man eating the pellet and chomping the ghosts in the process. So you press start, and you are greeted with 3 choices. There's Race, Hall of Fame, and Options. The Hall of Fame shows your best times and score throughout the Grand Prix, and the top 5 time trials recorded at each track. The Options menu is self-explanatory. The races have 4 different game modes: Circuit, Quick Race, Time Trial, and Battle. 2, 3, or 4 players will see Time Trial replaced with Versus mode. There are 3 difficulties, unlike Mario Kart with the different class speeds: Easy, Normal, and Hard. There is a 4th difficulty you can unlock by beating every single Grand Prix, that being the Nightmare difficulty, which is the mirror mode for this game. Don't let the name and font scare you though, I'll explain why later. In the circuit, you go through 4 tracks from the various environments of Pac-Man. The characters are the Pac family, the ghosts, and all 3 villains from the trilogy: Toc-Man, Spooky, and Irwin. That's with an E, not an I. There are also 3 unlockable characters in this game. You unlock them by beating the various difficulties. There's the Prince from Katamari Damacy for beating Easy, Puka from Dig Dug for beating Normal, and Vigar, also from Dig Dug, for beating Hard. You can also unlock other weapons, but I'll get to those later. The Grand Prix Cups are the Cherry Cup, the Grape Cup, the Watermelon Cup, and the Classic Cup. Cloud Garden is the first track in the game, and already you see the Pac-Man traditions implemented into the game. Pac-Dots and fruits have to be activated in order to be collected. They look like this. The fruits serve as keys for the shortcuts. You have the cherry, the grape, and the watermelon. It makes things pretty interesting. In tracks like Funhouse of Terror, they can be used for portals, disabling gimmicks, and other functions. Once you start getting Pac-Dots, you will see a meter fill up over on the right above the minimap. This is a meter for the Pac-Mobile. When you have enough dots, you can press Y to turn everybody else into blue ghosts and chomp them. I guess you could say you can chomp the competition.
God damn it, Bart!
Your opponents can do this too. If they do, you lose your Pac-Dots that you collected. It's okay though, because the controls were set up with this idea in mind. Speaking of controls, you really don't have to worry about stats in this game, even though they give them to you. The controls are so loosey-goosey that the only 2 characters that would possibly give you a hard time would be Pac-Man and Pac-Devil. You can get weapons from these blue Pac boxes. They give you certain weapons and you can hold up to 2. They're effective when they're kept behind you. You don't have to hold L as the game automatically does that for you. Wow, thank you game. Sometimes they don't protect you, but at least it's not like Mario Kart 8 where they constantly give you a coin. Come on, give me a shell or a banana. I don't want a fucking coin! That must have been loud, I apologize. Speaking of coins, the Pac-Dots actually don't make your kart go faster, as you're already going fast enough. Alright, back on topic. Where were we? Oh right, the boxes. Green boxes, usually found in shortcuts, give you 3 of the same weapon. There's a snowman that throws snowballs at everybody, including the player who launched it, Pac-Bombs colored red, green, and blue, fake item boxes that are colored red, a thundercloud that slows everybody down, and speed boosts, which actually can be used as projectiles if capped behind you. In fact, all weapons can serve as a projectile from behind. The big bad blue Pac-Bombs you will see a lot, and I mean a lot. Sometimes you'll see 2 fired at the same time. Even second place can get one. What the fuck? However, you can protect yourself from these. If you hold R, you will start drifting and get different colored sparks, depending on how long you can drift. The white sparks fill up this meter the quickest. If your drift is uninterrupted, release R and you'll get a mini boost. You will also get a mini boost if you time your jumps correctly, similar to CTR. If you are successful, you will see blue exhaust before you land. Once this meter is full, it gives you a shield. You can fill the meter up to 3 times. Press X and you will be temporarily invincible. This shield will stop anything, even the blue pack bombs. Fuck yes! You know, this game is turning out to be pretty good. The power slide also makes the game incredibly easy, even on nightmare mode. See, I told you there was nothing to worry about. Except of course for those annoying ass blue shells that kill you if you don't have protection, and they usually like to hit you when you're close to or in the middle of a jump. God damn it, why are there so many? When you finish the race, your character will stop and do a happy dance for winning the race. Second place or lower starts pouting and getting pissed at their carts. Jeez, Puka, calm down. It's only a race, it's not the car's fault. I also like the loading screens. I think they're neat. Now, there are 4 more weapons that you can unlock. They require you to eat a certain amount of ghosts in a certain cup. Cherry Cup requires 4 ghosts for the Black Pack Bomb. Grape Cup requires 8 ghosts for a dragon that breathes ice. Watermelon Cup requires 12 ghosts for Sir Pack-a-Lot from Pac-Man World 2. And Classic Cup requires 16 ghosts for the Galaga ship. That lasts for almost the whole race and shoots everybody in the way. The Black Pack Bomb is really the only one you need to unlock, as the other ones are kinda unnecessary. The Classic Cup sees you going through environments based on other Namco games, like Galaga, Katamari Damacy, Dig Dug, and the Pac-Man maze itself. Now, you might be asking, John, where's the Dig Dug level? Well, it is actually a PSP exclusive. I'll get to that later. Once you beat a Grand Prix, you go to the awards ceremony. Third and second do a quick pose, then nothing, while first place loops their victory celebration. In this case, Pac-Man butt bounces. In addition to those, there's also the Rally Cup in circuit mode only. Similar to the All Cup Tour from Mario Kart Double Dash, you go through every track in the game. However, unlike Double Dash, the tracks are in order, and you only race 1 lap. This is nice. It's to make sure you're not spending 40 plus minutes on this behemoth Grand Prix. After this, you do it 3 more times and the game is over. Go through the circuit mode, of course. Well, that was quick. But there are still other things you can do. There's Quick Race mode, which is self-explanatory, Time Trial mode, which is also self-explanatory, and Battle mode. There are 5 types of battles: Deathmatch, Last Car Driving, Free-for-all, Binge, and Classic. The first 3 modes are self-explanatory. Binge has you trying to collect as many fruits as possible, and Classic has you collecting as many pack dots as possible. There are 4 battle arenas: Molten Mountain, Ghost Mansion, Canyon Crusade, and Galactic Outposts, otherwise known as Lunar Launch in PAL regions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Not another fucking Mario Kart 8 battle! Don't worry, they're actual battle arenas. Why they're named after the tracks, I have no idea. Multiplayer also has Versus mode, which is self-explanatory. In battle mode, you pick up unique weapons, which are actually weapons. There's a grenade launcher that fires grapes, a cherry landmine, a battering ram in the form of a banana, a strawberry missile, a bell, a pack dot gun, a rocket launcher that fires berries, and my personal favorite, the melon machine gun. How is this game not rated T? You can also pick up a shield and health. Now there's a lot in the PSP version that isn't seen on the rest of the consoles. Subterranean Speedway is the Dig Dug themed level that I mentioned earlier, and it's a PSP exclusive. In addition to that, there are also 2 extra battle arenas, Arctic Iceberg and Spooky's Castle, as well as 2 extra characters, Mappy and Mr. Driller, and a challenge mode with 2 exclusive modes. One sees you collecting as many pack dots on the track as possible in a set time, while trying to complete 1 lap in the process. Funhouse of Terror can go fuck off in that regard. And the other has you collecting the scattered letters that spell out Pac-Man. Where have we seen this before? Oh, and on top of that, a max of only 6 racers at a time. How and why? Fucking Mario Kart Super Circuit had 40 goddamn tracks on that game, and it was able to handle 8 racers just fine. Why am I even complaining? I don't have that version. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I really don't get it. Did you know? In the PC version, you can actually change the in-game music. Just set your desired track to the corresponding name, make sure it's an OGG file and it will be played. I would show you my examples, but copyright will fuck me in the ass if I do. Speaking of music, the soundtrack is awesome. Every song plays a familiar tune of either Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, or other Namco titles. Even the theme song for Katamari Damacy is used in King's Course. Have a brief listen. Well, that is pretty much it. That's everything about Pac-Man World Rally from top to bottom. Oh wait, there's one more thing. The lap count. Cloud Garden and King's Course are set to 5 laps. Ghost Mansion, Canyon Crusade, Talkman's Factory, Galactic Outpost, Subterranean Speedway, and Retro Maze are set to 3 laps. And the rest of the tracks are set to 4. Interesting. I can see 5 laps for King's Course because that track is literally an oversized Tetris piece. Like, look at the fucking minimap. But I honestly think it should be 7, like Baby Park. Oh well, beggars can't be choosers. Okay, now I've covered everything. Oh, there's also a credits sequence after beating the Rally Cup, but there's no music, so there's really no point in watching it. Well, that was Pac-Man World Rally. Even though it was obviously Pac-Man's take on Mario Kart, he did bring to the table some originality, much like CTR did. The fruits and dots play their roles, the characters are from the games, except for Pac-Devil, who I'm pretty sure only makes his one appearance here, so he's a... who? Character. The different animations, the tracks based on environments from Pac-Man, and the Pac-Mobile. I can put the blue shell spam aside, because at least you can dodge them, unlike Mario Kart Wii. Also, is it me, or does every protagonist have to have their kart colored blue? Oh, and Junior's on a skateboard and Pinky's on a scooter. I thought, you know, I'd point that out. Did you know, if you hold A and B at the same time, and hold left or right, your character will spin around in place. This is probably my longest review so far, and I've actually been able to cover everything. If you're looking for an introduction to the racing genre, then by all means play Mario Kart first. However, if you're looking for an introduction to Pac-Man, this is definitely one of the games on that bucket list, as well as the first 2 Pac-Man World games. It's definitely worth the $5 you spend on eBay to try it out. My final rating for Pac-Man World Rally is 7 out of 10. If it had the extra stuff from the PSP version, I would have given it an 8. But in the end, that's not my decision. Please don't kill me! These are my opinions. I love this game. I definitely think it holds up real well to the original. However, there are a lot of problems with the game that I have to address. Some you will find obvious, and some will make you tilt your head and go, really? With that being said, let's go back to the late 1990s and take a look at Crash Bandicoot, the Sane Trilogy, remastered from the ground up on the PS4.
I'm back! Crash is back, folks. And the crowd goes wild. It's Crash. He's back. Yeah.
Okay, remember what the Stimpy Land said in his Crash Nitro Kart video?
Dear Vicarious Visions, please stop trying to be Naughty Dog, and not because some incredibly attractive internet reviewer told you to do so, but because you guys fucking suck at it.
Well, Vicarious Visions have read that letter, and responded positively. When this was announced at E3 2016, I jumped up and down as many times as I could. After that, I went back and beat Crash 2 100% twice, because I love it. It's my favorite out of the trilogy. I won't get to that now, later when we talk about Crash 2. For now, we're going to talk about the game that started it all, Crash Bandicoot. Now, if you are new to Crash Bandicoot, I will cover the story. You know what? For old time's sake, let's do this. Oh yeah. Let's start with the story. So the story is that Dr. Neo Cortex... Don't worry, I won't go that far. Dr. Neocortex is a mad scientist who wants to mutate a herd of various marsupial animals, including our hero, to do his dirty deeds. If you really want to get a better explanation, just watch this Crash Bandicoot cartoon. I won't show the whole thing, but here's a sample. Cortex is alone in this plot. He is accompanied by his trusty colleague, Dr.
Nitrous Brio!
They put Crash in the vortex and have very questionable and undetermined results. Crash eventually escaped thanks to the machine malfunctioning. And yes, he still says uh-oh. And also yes, Jess Harnell comes back to voice Crash. In fact, all voices, with the exception of Engine and Entropy, come back from the Titans games, and they sound so much better. Lex Lyon is still Cortex, Maurice LaMarche, aka Brain, comes back to voice Brio, Debbie Derryberry is back for Coco, and everybody's favorite Grim Reaper, Greg Eagles, returns in the third game to voice Aku Aku. I'll go into further detail then why I actually like Greg Eagles' new approach to this voice, compared to the Titans games where he literally just put Grim's voice on Aku Aku. Oh, and two other voices come back as well. John DiMaggio is back to voice Uka Uka and Tiny. You may remember his role for Tiny in Crash Nitro Kart. Well, it's back and it's the same as ever. The other returning actor is Corey Burton. He reprises his roles for Engine and Entropy, Wrath of Cortex being his previous appearance. This time around, everybody sounds great. Uka Uka definitely improved. Although, I actually miss Michael Ensing. His Entropy was more intimidating. I'd even go as far as saying that Corey Burton does better with Engine than he does with Entropy. At least we don't have a blue Nolan North engine again. That shit was annoying, especially in tag team racing.
Yes, meet your doom, fool! Oh, the happy joy! Oh, such a tragedy!
Now, I want to stress this right now. I am judging these games by how they look now, not nostalgia. And no, I will not say this game is the new Dark Souls, because clearly whoever said that never touched a controller in their pathetic lives. Moving on, when Crash escapes, we see Tawna fighting a few baddies off, but then it goes to black. So, what happens? Well, you do see her in the bonus rounds. Still. However, Cortex realizes this and takes her when you finish the bonus rounds. Here's one of many examples why Vicarious Visions paid so much attention to detail. Anyways, we get put right into Insanity Beach, the very first level, and holy shit, this game looks fucking gorgeous. When I saw trailers for this game, I was seriously impressed. I thought Activision made the smart decision for once and picked the right developers for this game. Now, I'll admit, when I first heard about this game being put into the same hands that made the Crash GBA games and Nitro Kart, I was skeptical. Well, yet again, I've been proven wrong. They went all out with the graphics, and they look fucking beautiful. This is only the first level, and goddamn, it looks insane. Don't worry, I'm not going to use that joke anymore. Anyway, here's something else I wanted to point out. Remember the original where you couldn't die at all in a level in order to get a gem and save the game? Well, in normal levels, you can die all you want, and you can save whenever you want by clicking L2 at the map screen, making Sunset Vista 10 times easier than the original. The original formula is reused in the levels where you get a colored gem. The colored gems are located in the Lost City, Generator Room, Toxic Waste, Slippery Climb, Lights Out, and the Lab. After a couple attempts, I was able to get this no problem. That is, of course, until I got to Slippery Climb. Here's where the pain truly begins. Oh man. I have a lot to say about this level. Fuck it. I hate it. The platforms move way too fast, Crash feels like he's being dragged down during his jumps now, which makes the platforming even more impossible. If you die before the first checkpoint, you still get a nearly perfect, and mother of God, I just want to get on that fucking platform! Luckily, you can take multiple attempts at the bonus rounds now, and this time around, you will need to go through them to get all the boxes. But is that saying much, considering Slippery Climb only has a motherfucking Brio bonus round? We all remember how difficult that shit was back then, and this bullshit right here is why I lost my shit in a recording you guys didn't see because I went too far with my rage. No, I didn't break anything, but I screamed into the microphone. And get this, the first 2 times I tried this, I was 4 boxes away from completing it, and I was very close to the end. After that, I couldn't even get on the first fucking platform. Oh, And during all this, you can't die if you want the red gem. Why couldn't they put this gem at fucking heavy machinery or some shit? Because fuck you, that's why. We're Naughty Dog wannabes, and we don't give a flying fuck about your suffering in the first game. Oh my fucking god. Praise the Lord, everybody! I finally conquered Slippery Climb. Oh, holy fuck. Oh my god. 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 Also, get used to Crash's jumps, because for levels like Road to Nowhere, this is the biggest step backwards, especially with the hitbox on the torches being so fucking big. You die even if you're 5 fucking feet above the flame. The 2 keys are also here. You get them the same way you originally did, by beating Cortex's bonus round. Great! After beating the first boss, we see that Crash's sister, Coco, who was introduced in the second game, used the Time Twister from Warped to travel back to 1996 and 97 to help her brother out on his adventure. While this is cool, I don't really much care for this feature. This was supposed to be the quote-unquote big reveal at E3 this year, but Big Mouth Leafy didn't know how to keep it shut long enough to be surprised by this. Time relics from the third game were also implemented into all 3 games. However, they're only required in Warped per the original. In the first and second games, they're just there to get more trophies, and to show off your best times in the level. Another feature I could really care less about. I will say, however, that I did manage to beat Square Eye Jack's best time on Toad Village, and Jack practiced way more than I did. What's cool though is that in the third game, the trophies are named after quotes from the old commercials, like "Booyah, Grandma, booyah!" and "Buckle up, baby, buckle up!" Now, let's look at the first game's bosses. Papu Papu is still easy, only now with 2 extra hit markers like the original Japanese version. Ripperoo took me a little while with getting used to the big TNTs being normal TNT countdowns this time. Koala-Con I absolutely hate, just like the original. Pinstripe is the same as ever. Brio is still somewhat challenging.
I was in the first game!
And Cortex is still average. There's really nothing new here. I will say one thing though. I do like some of the designs for these levels. I've never seen any game go this far with the capabilities of the console's graphics purity since Mario Kart 8. And these levels look really fucking colorful. That, on the other hand, is a problem. For levels like Jaws of Darkness or Temple Ruins, this kind of ruins, no pun intended, the whole intimidation that the original had. Speaking of ruination, get it? The soundtrack wasn't really doing it for me. There were a lot of occasions, especially in the first game, where I honestly preferred the original to the remaster. Upstream, for one, is a little too loud in my opinion. The other problem I have with this game is that the load times are way too long. Instead of just loading what was in your field of view on the fly like the originals, here they load the entire level from start to finish. This means the load times can last almost as long as that of Crash Nitro Kart. This is a real problem, and in a lot of cases, especially when trying to get the colored gems, this will get annoying. Half of one of my segments was dedicated to the load times alone, and that is a fucking problem. At least the trophies are cool, right? Yes, like any other PS3 or PS4 game, you get trophies. One has you spin away an extra life, while another has you getting 99 lives, which is super easy to do in the first game. When you press R2, you can switch to Coco. She is fully playable in all 3 games, which means yes, like Wrath of Cortex, she is on foot. Only this time, she controls much better. There really is no control difference between her and Crash, so I guess it really depends on who you want to play as. However, vehicle levels and all but one boss will not allow you to play as Coco. That sucks. I wanted to see Coco ride that hog. Oh well. The overall presentation looks so much better than that of the trailers and PSX16. The first game did fairly well while it had the spotlight. There are certain things that obviously need to be fixed, like Crash's jumping, but if you took that away, this game would go down in history as one of the best Crash Bandicoot games ever. Other minor issues can be fixed as well. I know there will be a patch fixing certain glitches, but I encountered next to none during my playthrough, so I can't really say much in that regard. I also know about the Lost Treasures DLC, which will feature the levels Naughty Dog never released, and boy won't Stormy Ascent be something. My final rating for Crash Bandicoot and Sane Edition is 7 out of 10. You're copying Square-Eye Jack! Shut the fuck up! No, I'm not. I actually agree with him on the score. I even gave the original a 7, so stop that bullshit. Besides, the people you defend steal jokes from others too. Yeah, you fucking heard me. And some, like myself and Square-Eye Jack, have admitted this. Anyways, yes, Crash 1 on PS4 gets a 7. Reasons are obvious, especially from my slippery climb rant. Moving on.
It's Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex strikes back.
That reminds me, you actually do get a pleasant introduction for the logo. However, this can't be skipped, so every time you perform a hard reset for the game, you will have to sit through that intro again, and every time hear Lex Lang go,
It's Crash Bandicoot.
At this point, if you really want to know the backstory, you can look it up. But you shouldn't need more than the game's title to know what's going on. There are a fair amount of problems like the first game that Vicarious Visions did not notice when they released the game on June 30th, 2017. Didn't think I'd mention the release date, did you? So, I'm gonna put another problem counter here for this particular game. Let's begin. Problem number 1. The jumping is still flawed. How could you possibly fuck up jumping in a platformer?
It makes no sense!
Problem number 2. The talking head messages suck. There's no flicker during the message, Cortex talks like a fucking sloth, and there's no static interruption between Cortex and Coco. It's really sad. Yes, you can still save whenever you want. Now, one thing this game does do right is show quick blimps on the screen to help the player out. See? It's that small attention to detail that gets overlooked in a lot of games. Problem number 3. The load times and screens are the same as the first. They say loading with the level name underneath, a very obvious hint on the bottom, and Aku Aku floating around and looking at you like he's about to do something.
You don't want to make me mad. I get angry when I'm mad.
The vehicles feel very different. The jetpack took me forever to adjust to in the original, and here it takes just as long, if not longer. Speaking of vehicles, problem number 4. The polar bear is really bad here. I'm not the first to say this. His hit marker is so small, some jumps are almost impossible, and he treats you like shit if you abuse him. He still, however, gives you lives if you jump on him repeatedly in the second warp room. That leads to problem number 5. The warp rooms do not look like they were remastered. In this case, like the soundtrack, I prefer the old warp rooms to the new ones. Some of the levels kinda lack in graphics enhancement too. What happened? Crash 1 looked fucking gorgeous, like I said, and suddenly this. Okay, the levels still look nice, especially the sewer ones, but they're not as eye-popping as the first game, or shit, even the original second game. Problem number 6. The Ruins levels still suck. I already stated in my Crash 2 review that I simply put hated them, and I still do to this very day. They will continue to be my least favorite levels in the game. A lot of exploits were noticed by Vicarious Visions and got tweaked. So that red gem you got during your Warp Room 1 run? Guess what? Get the actual secret entrance from Air Crash's secret exit, you fucking cheating dick. This also brings up problem number 7. Cold Hard Crash is fucking impossible. Not to mention, Vicarious Visions fucked up the ice physics just like Naughty Dog did. How is it that the shittiest Crash game managed to give us somewhat decent ice physics?
It makes no sense!
I have beaten Cold Hard Crash legitimately once, and I repeat, once. That was on the original, and I did this back in 2014. Now this shit I can't even do. And I have to do it because if I want to beat the game 100%, I need to do this. I hope you guys are ready to practice because you will definitely find yourself doing this. Problem number 8. The bosses are still too easy. Tiny and Ripperoo are the two easiest. Engine is above average, the Komodo brothers are actually easier than before, and Cortex is the same as ever. This is an issue. I know it's a remaster, but I was hoping that this would be fixed, but I guess not. And finally, problem number 9. I did not ask for relics. I want to know who actually wanted this to be a thing. Color-wise, the levels do look nice. However, some levels, like Piston It Away and Spaced Out, don't blend in very well with what Vicarious Visions was going for. Yes, at this point this is obvious, but did you know, during production of the first game, Crash Bandicoot was codenamed the Sonic's Ass Game, for reasons you should be able to figure out. Honestly, I don't know about Crash 2 on the PS4. There is a huge side of me that is preferring the original to the remaster in more ways than one. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has had this feeling before. Oh, and you can unlock the running ability in the second game to go for those platinum relics. Overall, Crash Bandicoot 2 does look really colorful and gorgeous like the first, but I feel like Vicarious Visions should have added a little more oomph to the levels and graphics. They need to fix the jumping too. Good fucking God. My final rating for Crash Bandicoot 2 and Sane Edition is 6 out of 10. It's a shame because I gave the original an 8, so improvement is needed. Finally, let's go back to 1998 with
Crash Bandicoot.
My goodness. You okay, Mr. DiMaggio? Would you like some Gas X? Gameplay-wise, this is where I had the most fun. At this point, I got so used to the controls that Crash's heavy jumping was no longer a problem, especially with the power-ups coming into play, including everybody's favorite, the Super Body Slam. At least it's not the worst. The vehicles, with the exception of Coco's jet ski, felt much better here than in the original. In fact, I actually liked the vehicles in the remaster. This is where Vicarious Visions really improved on what Naughty Dog kind of fell short to. It's obvious this trilogy is near and dear to their hearts. To quote Square Eyed Jack for a second, "Welcome to How to Make a Fucking Video Game 101. Step 1, do whatever the fucking fuck Naughty Dog does. Instant fucking success." I had more fun playing Warped than I ever did before, and I got so good at the game I was able to get 105% with every relic being at least gold. Some platinum relics I got without even trying, like Deep Trouble. Load times are still a pain in the dick hole though, but that's obvious. Now, I mentioned that I like this Aku Aku now compared to Titans. The way Greg Eagles voices Aku Aku in Warped is almost spot on with the original voice, Mel Winkler. When I close my eyes and listen to Titans Aku Aku, I don't picture him. I instead picture Grimm. However, when I close my eyes and listen to this Aku Aku, I do picture my faithful witch doctor companion. This is a huge improvement. This is by far the best Aku Aku that Greg Eagles has ever done. It's a shame that he only gets to do the voice in the third game, because it would have been nice to hear what he would have sounded like in the first two games. I fucking love Dingodile's new voice. It fits him so perfectly, despite his boss fight being super fucking easy. Wait, wasn't he supposed to say something after I defeated him? This is the one and only time Vicarious Visions forgot to pay attention to detail, with the exception of Corey Burton voicing Entropy. The engine boss fight was a little more difficult, but I was still able to beat him within a few minutes. The airplane levels actually give a little blimp on the screen telling you your objective. Again, that small attention to detail that prevents new players from going, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?" Although, the heads-up display should probably give that away. Speaking of the HUD, it's the same as the originals. Press triangle and you can see your Wampa Fruit, the amount of boxes you broke out of the total boxes, and the number of lives you have. If you run out of lives, you get a game over and restart from your last load point. That is, of course, if you turned autosave off. That's a new feature. The game over screen is a black background with Uka Uka popping up and going Game over. Now, you will see this screen on all three games. However, in the first two games, he is slightly blacked out. I like this. I like this? Yeah, I kinda miss the originals, but this is a nice replacement. Oh, and here's something. In Road Crash, there's an alien sign that, once you hit it, takes you to a secret level called Hot Cocoa. Even a blue bird shows what to do in order to unlock that level. Again, attention to detail, something the Insane Trilogy paid and Wrath of Cortex did not. Agapus Rex actually gave me a hard time in the remaster. The final boss is the same as the original, and the music actually sounds good. In fact, I actually prefer it to the original. And yes, you still need to get the relics. This time around, the relics were a little easier than before, and the times were a little more forgiving. And they were more fun. I like this. I like this? Yeah, I know what I said in my Crash 3 review.
They are a death sentence. A one-way ticket to hell. It is the possible cause of a total damnation on this planet.
But in the remaster, I actually had more fun doing the relics. Maybe it's because I enjoy using the vehicles. The levels I got Sapphire on, I actually got better at and got Gold, and in some cases Platinum. Like I said before, I was able to complete the game 105% without having to cheat. Huge improvement from the original. Overall, this game was definitely the icing on the cake for the Sane Trilogy. The characters really shined here, the gameplay was fantastic, the music was good, the awesome trophy names I mentioned earlier, and even the Easter egg of Aku Aku yelling at you for not getting the crystal is back. I never thought I'd say this, but Crash Bandicoot Warped, in this case, is better than Crash 2. And I know the second game is 251 GNR's favorite, but Warped may give you second thoughts, bro. Warped was absolutely amazing. Other than Hot Cocoa, I really had no problems during my 105% run. And the backtracking never felt better. Wait, did I just say that? I did. I'd even go as far as saying that the Warped formula works better on the PS4, and if Vicarious Visions developed the game, which they did. So you know what? Good on ya! I came into this not expecting a lot to impress me, but this game really swept the rug out of my feet and gave me something worth playing. However, there are 4 small bits that do bother me. The camera change in the motorcycle levels whenever I jump off a ramp, Area 51 in general, I fucking hated that in the original, I still do. The future levels don't have any flashing signs on the buildings, like what the fuck? And Uka Uka Smirk in the opening FMV. I don't know, I can't see this Uka Uka doing that. It's like Mandy smiles, it just doesn't look right. Those are just a few nitpicks after what I just gushed over. In conclusion, I really love Warped on the PS4, and I easily prefer it to the original. There are just a few minor tweaks that need to be made though, but nothing that would stop me from beating the game. Slippery Climb, I'm looking directly at you. It's not perfect, it's actually far from, but Warped really impressed me with the graphics, the controls, and the bosses. My final rating for Crash Bandicoot and Sane Edition is 9 out of 10. That's right, for the first time in all of my reviews, a 9 has been given. Especially considering the fact that I gave the original a 7, I think it's safe to say that Vicarious Visions really went all out with Warped more than they did with Crash 2. And again, that is saying a lot, especially since I used to prefer Crash 2 to Warped. So, with all 3 scores combined, my final overall rating for the Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy is 7 out of 10. The other day, I sat down and wondered, I wonder if I could talk about a few mobile games on my phone. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. Let me just put out a quick disclaimer. These are mobile games. Don't expect much. For that reason, I won't score them. Now, I could talk about games like Jetpack Joyride or Candy Crush, but no. Instead, I'm going to talk about 3D Bowling, Balls, Flappy Bird, and Beat MP3 for YouTube. Again, don't expect much. Alright, let's get this over with. The first mobile game I'm looking at today is 3D Bowling. How original. It's bowling. Nothing more, nothing less. You can pick different lanes, different balls, and bowl by yourself or with a friend. I'm showing off 2-player mode, but I'm a Larry Loner, so it's a little sad, really.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The physics are pretty good, and it's always satisfying to get a strike. However, you can't hit the pocket and expect a strike. Instead, you have to hit smack dab in the middle, and even then you leave the 10 pin. You bastard! Sometimes when a certain pin is about to fall, the game sets up your second throw as it's falling down. Come on! Nope, sorry, didn't fall down fast enough. I do like this game, it's just outdated. While it is a nice time waster, it's nothing but a waste of my time. Moving on. Next up is balls. You start off with one ball while gradually getting more as you break these tiles with a certain number of balls. If the tiles reach the bottom of your screen, the game is over. At the time of this review, you can exploit this by pressing the back button on your phone and tapping the play button again. Thank you to my sister for telling me this, the sole reason how I managed to get this far. Very addicting, but after a while, it gets boring. You can tap this button to speed things up, but it's still pretty boring, so let's move on. Flappy Bird. I'm one of only 3 people in the world that still has this shit on my phone. You tap the screen to keep the bird in the air while going through Mario pipes. Seriously, who didn't play the Super Mario theme while doing this? If you hit a pipe, your game is over. Damn, even the medals are unforgiving. Actually, I did get platinum during my session, so it ain't that bad, but still. Next! Our final mobile game of the day, Beat MP3 for YouTube. This is actually neat. You can tap randomly generated notes in sync to either a song found on YouTube or MP3 files you have on your phone. Play Rooftop Rampage with the highest difficulty, and it's the most entertaining shit you'll ever find on this game. Sometimes the servers don't work though. What a shame. And yes, this is a low to no budget Guitar Hero game for your phone, tablet, iPad, or whatever. Well, those are just a few of many mobile games out there. I'm not talking about Game of War. Please don't ask me to because I couldn't care less. I seriously do not care about The Legend 27. So nearly 2 years ago, I started a new channel dedicated to making reviews. I started with Crash Bandicoot because I felt like that would be the appropriate start for the channel. The first game was... After that, I took a break and got used to Movie Maker, so I used that for all my reviews up until Billy and Mandy. Then for my Billy and Mandy GBA review, I used Power Director 14. Now I use that for everything. I improved on my reviews so much, and yet those 2 Billy and Mandy reviews are the 2 most viewed things on my channel. Looking at my old reviews got me thinking of revisiting one of them. But which one? Well, I felt like I didn't give my the treatment it deserved. So, let's do it. Let's go back to CTR and put some finishing touches on my old review. Ooh, a fancy custom cover, I know, right? I'm going to explain everything as much as I possibly can. How's it going, guys? John's Reviews here, and today is a special day because I'm going back to Crash Team Racing, aka my favorite game of all time. Don't worry, that's the last time I use that joke. Now remember, guys, favorite is not synonymous with best. By no means is CTR the best game ever, it's just my personal favorite, okay? The year is 1996, and Naughty Dog was given the task by Universal Interactive to make a Playstay mascot and potential competitor with Mario and Sonic. As a result, Crash Bandicoot was born. When the first game released, rumors of a sequel started spreading, and in 1997, the rumors were true. Crash Bandicoot 2 was released, and Naughty Dog started working on CTR first, but then went back to make and release Crash Warped in 1998. With Naughty Dog and Universal Interactive going separate ways in 2000, they had enough time to finish CTR and release it. Now let's get to it. So, what was wrong with the old review? Well, the quality was not that good, I used Movie Maker, and I tried collaborating with someone. Don't get me wrong, I like collabs, especially with my friends. But I felt like me and Sterling didn't really work out. We both sounded like we were reading the script. So this time, it's gonna be different. First thing we have to cover is the story. Wait, a kart racer with a story? Huh. Yeah, this is where the similarities with Mario Kart ended. Crash Team Racing has a story, similar to Diddy Kong Racing. Already? Okay. Did you know, during development, Naughty Dog pre-rendered one of the first DKR tracks as a test for the game's engine? Nintendo would have been all over that if that track was in the game. Anyways, the story is that Crash and company are enjoying friendly races for trophies and glory, when suddenly a mysterious alien from the planet Gasmoxia challenges the best driver in the world to a race for Earth. His name is Nitrous Oxide. If you beat him, the world remains as is. If Oxide beats you, he'll
Turn your entire globe into a concrete body and make you my slaves.
Damn, even the story is awesome. This game really set the bar during its release on September 30th, 1999. It changed the way we looked at kart racers. Keep in mind, this was Naughty Dog's first shot at making a kart racer, and they hit spot on with everything. The graphics, the controls, the story, the characters, and everything in between. So in the main menu, you get a variety of options. First, the adventure mode, the story mode of the game. Time trial mode, basic time trials by yourself. Arcade mode, you and or a friend compete with CPUs in a single race or cup tournament. Versus mode, where 2 to 4 players with this thing can race each other. Battle mode, with a variety of games and arenas to choose from. The high score option, where you can look at your best times. And finally, the unlockable option for completing the game 100%, the scrapbook. Before we dive into the adventure mode, let me get this out of the way. A lot of players criticize this game for being a Mario Kart clone. Okay, this shit needs to stop. Stop bringing the score down because it's a fucking Mario Kart clone. That's another thing I didn't do in the old review, say fuck. A perfect example is Pac-Man World Rally. The reviewer's score is brought down because of one thing. It's a Mario Kart clone. I put this fact aside, hence why I gave it a 7. Diddy Kong Racing is a Mario Kart clone, and yet people prefer that to Crash Team Racing. I say wrong! Crash Team Racing is a fucking masterpiece, even if it's just Mario Kart with Crash Bandicoot. Let me give you some examples of originality in this game. When you start drifting, you will see a meter on the bottom right fill up. This meter represents your exhaust tank. When it turns red, press the L1 button and you will get a mini boost. You can do this up to 3 times before having to drift again. And if you press R1 at the top of a jump, you will get a landing boost if you're in the air long enough. The higher you go, the bigger the boost. Another example is the Wampa Fruit. When you collect Wampa Fruit, your kart will start gaining more speed. You can also find Wampa crates scattered around the tracks that give you 5 to 8 Wampa Fruit. You can hold up to 10 in one race. With 10, your kart reaches top speed and your items get upgraded. Mario Kart wouldn't do all this until 2008, up until 2017. Mario Kart Wii introduced the landing boost mechanic by doing tricks, Mario Kart 7 introduced the coin structure, and Mario Kart 8 brought back the hopping off jumps for boosts. They're still catching up with the anti-gravity thing from Crash Nitro Kart, but I'm getting off topic. So you get 8 characters to choose from in the adventure mode. We got Crash, Cortex, Tiny, Coco, Engine, Dingodile, Polar, and Purra. You know me, I always pick the main protagonist. Crash Bandicoot, Brash Candicoot, Cash Banuka, whatever you want to call him. Now, let's enter my name. What's my name? Kiss Ass. I don't fucking know. When we start the story, Aku Aku greets us and tells us how to enter the races.
Welcome to the Adventure Arena. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills.
Those mouth animations are pretty freaky. Okay, let's give Naughty Dog a break. It's 1999 and it's on the PS1. We'll allow it. Now there are a lot of things that CTR offers you to do in the adventure, which for a kart racer is a good thing. First things first, the trophy races. These are basic 3-lap races where you need to come in first place in order to win the trophy. After collecting 4 trophies, you confront the world's bosses. First up is Ripperoo. Now you will probably want to brush up on your driving skills before doing these, because these boss races are going to give newcomers a hard time. I remember as a kid being stuck on Pinstripe. Anyways, the other reason these bosses are a little hard is the fact that they like to spam a specific item. In this case, Ripperoo lays TNTs all over the place. After you beat Ripperoo, you unlock the second world, and you get a boss key. Collect 4, and you can face Oxide. You can also go back to the previous tracks to get extra stuff. More on that later. The second boss is Papu Papu. He likes placing Dr.
Nitrous Brio!
Those potions all over the track. If there are too many, they automatically explode to obey playstay limitations. He's also pretty fast, so practice will be needed. Up next is Komodo Joe. He likes to throw TNTs and occasionally plays nitro crates across the track. The fourth boss is Pinstripe. He likes throwing back bowling bombs. And finally, Nitrous Oxide himself. Alright, first off, he's a cheating fuck. Second, he uses almost every item in the game, so practice is highly required. Or, you can do this jump right here that Oxide doesn't know about. Once you do this, Oxide stays put, because now we gotta get his time relics. Now, I ranted about these in my Crash 3 review, but for a kart racer, it works better. But the relics aren't the only requirements in this game. We also have CTR tokens, and the gems make their return. The CTR tokens require you to find and collect the scattered letters C, T, and R. After this, you have to win the race. The AI is a little better, so some practice will be needed. The time relics are just like from Crash 3. You go through the track while getting the best time. Time crates can also be broken to stop the clock for up to 3 seconds. When you finish the race, you're awarded a relic based on your time. If it's acceptable, you get Sapphire. If it's good, you get Gold. And if it's excellent, you get Platinum, the best in the game. As a bonus, if you can break all the time crates within the track, the game subtracts 10 seconds from your time. If you're 10 seconds within the Platinum time, this is a huge lifesaver. Then you get the purple tokens in the battle arenas. You get these by collecting all the scattered crystals within the arena in an allotted time limit. When you collect 4 of the same color, you unlock that color gem to be collected. The gems serve as cup tournaments similar to the Trophy Grand Prix in Diddy Kong Racing, except you don't race the 4 tracks in the same world. You race the 4 tracks that have that specific color that corresponds to the gem. For example, the Red Gem Cup has you racing at the 4 tracks that had a red CTR token: Crash Cove, Mystery Caves, Blizzard Bluff, and Papu's Pyramid. Now you're probably asking, what about the Purple Gem Cup? Well, the Purple Gem Cup has you racing against all 4 bosses prior to Oxide on all 4 of their territories: Ruse Tubes, Papu's Pyramid, Dragon Mines, and Hot Air Skyway, in that order. By collecting 10 relics, you unlock Sly Coliseum. By collecting all the gems, you unlock Turbo Track. They both have relics. So at the end of the day, you should have 16 CTR tokens, 5 gems, and 18 relics. With these, you can race Oxide again, and once defeated, he leaves, and we get the true credits, as well as the Naughty Dog scrapbook. With the adventure mode beaten, what else is there? Well, there's the arcade mode, where you can pick a character and track and race. The tracks are themed around environments from the original trilogy. Battle mode also has really fun things to do, including deathmatch, last car driving, and time battle. You can even pick teams if you wanted to. Now there are a lot of unlockables in this game. By completing the gem cups, you unlock the bosses and Fake Crash. By beating Entropy's best times in the time trial mode, you unlock him. By inputting a cheat code into the main menu, you unlock Penta Penguin. By completing the arcade cups on different difficulties, you unlock extra battle arenas. By completing the game 100%, you unlock the scrapbook option. Did you know? Naughty Dog programmed cheat codes for everything in the game. Yes, you can unlock everything in the game without even playing it. However, if you don't have time to beat the adventure mode and you don't want to cheat, 17 out of the 18 tracks and 8 characters are available from the get-go. In the time trial mode, you compete with the best times recorded by Entropy and Oxide. There is no reward for beating Oxide's best times, but it still feels nice to beat them, because they give you a sense of accomplishment. You cannot, however, play as Oxide without using GameShark codes, even though IGN and GameFAQs.com claim that you can. Fucking liars. This was due to limitations of the playstay. There's even a cheat code to play the hidden Spyro 2 demo. Is it too late to start playing CTR? No, it isn't. This game is old by new generation standards, but fans of the PS1 still find themselves coming back to this game in 2017, including myself. Did you know? In the PAL version of CTR, Penta Penguin has all of his stats maxed out. He's a regular racer in NTSC regions, but in PAL regions he is overpowered. Did you also know that Dragon Mines didn't have any Wampa Fruit in the beta version? Well, now you do. As far as the rumors go, I would like to see Vicarious Visions try to reinvent CTR on the PS4 the way they did the Sane Trilogy. Hopefully it'll be a turbocharged extravaganza. On the other hand, I hope it doesn't turn out like Crash Nitro Kart. And with that, I have successfully revisited Crash Team Racing. This game has a whole lot of replay value. The adventure mode is great, the bosses are memorable, the soundtrack is awesome, especially the boss race theme, and this game is my Get the fuck out of here! Anyways, I fucking love this game, and I still do to this very day. And again, favorite does not mean best. There are much better games than CTR out there, it's just my personal favorite. and having friends over to play this game is always fun as well. Is CTR's final score still a 10? Absolutely. Yeah, I wish I could play as Oxide, but there are other characters I can play as anyways, so it doesn't really bother me. Besides, you can play as him in Crash Nitro Kart, right?
It's you and me against the world. We attack at dawn.
I'm not gonna stall any more than I should, so let's dive right into today's video.
Greetings, fellow glitchlings. My name is JuniorNitro, and today we're taking a look at two video games based on my two favorite cartoons ever. SpongeBob SuperSponge and Billy and Mandy, the only fucking game.
And now, thanks to this poll I posted on Twitter, this video is actually happening. You could say I foreshadowed my next review, but it ended up being the winner of the poll, so today I'm taking a look at two video games, each one representing my two favorite cartoons. The games in question are SpongeBob SuperSponge and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. But which one should I start with? Well, I did watch SpongeBob more than Billy and Mandy as a kid, so let's start with SuperSponge. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this game for quite some time. I didn't want to rush into it though. Give it some time and it will eventually happen. And today's the day it's finally happening. Now, before people jump in the comments and go,
I hate this channel,
let me just state that this video has been a long time coming. It's only fitting that it ends up being my 700 subscriber special. So let's begin. To start things off, I'm playing the PS1 version of this game, which is the superior choice. SuperSponge was published by THQ and developed by Climax. The game was released on November 8th, 2001, 367 days after the release of Crash Bash. Hard to believe that game is 17 years old already. It ended up selling so well, it got a second release in 2002 as a greatest hit. I have the original 2001 version. However, I can say that when I was younger, I did have the 2002 version. What's the difference? The disc is white. That's it. Anyway, as a kid, this was most likely mind-blowing. SpongeBob on my PlayStation? Mom, can we go to Hollywood Video? Yeah, remember when Hollywood Video was a thing? As a huge fan of the first 3 seasons of the show, this was absolutely the whole world for me as a kid. Except, of course, for CTR. A lot of questions came up in my head. What kind of slapstick humor could they possibly put into a game? Well, once we put the game in, close the lid, assault the power button, and see the opening FMV, we are instantly reminded of the beloved characters from the show. Then we get to the title screen. Did you know? In the PAL version of this game, players got a trailer for the Rugrats in Paris movie. Why didn't us American children get this? For crying out loud, I haven't even started the game and I'm already starting to nitpick. Let's move on. So the story of the game is that SpongeBob is trying to get a birthday present for his best friend Patrick. And he figured, what better gift than an autographed photo of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy? So he goes to Shady Shoals and he finds out that BB has a task for our little yellow hero. He wants us to get bread and peanut butter and all other things to make MM a sandwich.
Like a calculator. You can count on it.
Please let that be the only bad pun.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We then enter Jellyfish Fields, where we say hi to Squidward, and then get our net. You're telling me we're using gadgets and weapons from the show as well? Sweet Jesus, I love this! As far as the controls fare, they're actually pretty decent. For one thing, it's a platformer, so satisfying controls are a must. Yeah, SpongeBob is hopping on the platformer bandwagon with Mario, Sonic, and Crash Bandicoot. We can catch jellyfish with circle, then fire them with square. We can put it down with triangle and jump with X. Looking up and down will shift the camera. This entire game is basically a slowed down Sonic the Hedgehog clone. Seriously? You collect spatulas in order to keep yourself alive throughout the level. If you just have one, you're safe. With 0, anything that touches you will cause you to die. These spatulas, once collected, are unfortunately finite. As soon as you get hit and lose them, they're gone until you either die or restart the level. There are also phone booths that serve as checkpoints, and collecting underwear will give you extra lives. The spatulas are used to unlock the carnival minigames. These games allow you to collect these flower coin thingies and buy stuff for Patrick's birthday party. As you progress through the game, you will have to collect more. In the first chapter, you need at least 60% of the spatulas in the 4 levels to unlock the carnival. Yes, there are 3 levels and a boss in each chapter. And there are 5. So 4 times 5 equals 20 levels. That's a fair amount. In the second level, we're going through Sandy's tree dome while wearing our ever-essential water helmet. This is like a water level in a Sonic game. You even have the slow, intimidating countdown. After that, we head to Fishhooks Park to retrieve the kelp lettuce. Then we go downtown to pick up some bread. Here's where we encounter our first boss, Mother Jellyfish. For fuck's sake! She can only be hurt by throwing her children right back at her. Now that I think about it, that's kinda dark. After that, we bring the sandwich to Mermaid Man, only to find out that Barnacle Boy now wants us to get some pedicure shit or something like that. Why exactly would Mermaid Man need this? He looks fine the way he is. The second chapter sees us journeying down to the center of the Earth. Whoa, slow down guys, we'll get there. Anyway, now is a good time to bring up the voice cast. Everybody from the show is providing their voices for the game, except for one.
SpongeBob! Now listen, boy! I'm counting on you to use this here coral blower to make your way around Bikini Bottom.
You're not Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, this is another one of those games where Clancy Brown is not voicing Mr. Krabs because reasons. Anyway, now comes my biggest complaint about the controls. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reef Blower. Sounds awesome? This is how it controls in the game. You have to suck up objects to break certain walls. One catch. You can only load up one, meaning this will get tedious. Another thing is that it makes SpongeBob feel like he's walking on ice, so tight platforming is next to impossible. And you can't butt bounce. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Similar to the Pac-Man World game, SpongeBob can butt bounce with X after jumping. However, he can only do this once before he has to jump again. This is a problem. SpongeBob's hitbox is really small to the point where some enemies have to be attacked at just the perfect moment. But even then you end up taking a hit. And the fact that I have a reef blower does not help the situation. God fucking damn it, stop fucking removing my video! SpongeBob can also blow bubbles to make platforms, use his karate glove, shoot jellyfish, and ride a balloon.
Better make sure I'm nice and moist.
SpongeBob? Please don't say that in the way you just did. I feel unclean. Once we get through everything, we then head down to the center of the Earth, where we find boss number 2, a giant subshark. Most likely one of Plankton's creations. Here's a pro tip. Stand over to the far right, then once you hear this annoying sound effect go away, press square after about half a second. Do that 8 or 9 more times, and there you go, boss defeated. Once we get back to the Shady Shoals, BB tells us to go back in time to make some new apparel for our favorite crime-fighting duo. At this point, Barnacle Boy is starting to get on my nerves. Just give us that damn photo already! Regardless, we use Plankton's time machine to head to prehistoric Bikini Bottom. We get some cool stuff that only superheroes can wear, and then we confront boss number 3, a parasitic worm. No, not an Alaskan bullworm. Now I wish we did fight that thing. Just keep moving and butt bounce him, and in 2 or 3 minutes, you're done. With our new suit for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, we go back to Shady Shoals, and BB then tells us that he's getting annoyed. Well then stop giving us these ridiculous tasks and give us that damn photo! Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, and we're now sent to Rock Bottom to get MM a candy bar. Are you fucking kidding me? At this point in the game, I'm starting to get annoyed. I mean, come on, haven't we done enough? Each and every single one of these vending machines are broken, except for the last one located at the bus stop. Of course, before that, we have to fight another boss. This time, it's the Flying Dutchman. Finally! Is it worth the wait to finally confront him? Not really. Sometimes he is super cheap. Other times he doesn't even spawn. Seriously, he faked me out and cost me a life. I shit you not when I say that. After we beat him, we get yet another task. This time we have to find tools to fix Mermaid Man's TV. What is with Barnacle Boy and giving us these Oh my god! So we trek through all this shit, kill Man Ray a lot of times, and enter the factory where our final boss is located. An iron dogfish. All you have to do is stun him with the air vents, then butt bounce him. Repeat until complete. The game is finally won. We fix the TV, get our photo, then haul ass out of Shady Shoals. As we're doing that, the TV breaks, and everybody gathers around for Patrick's birthday. Then their picture gets taken.
Stand still while I take your picture.
Oh, damn it, SpongeBob, you blinked! The credits roll, and then we get to watch the opening FMV again. What a nice game we played. Overall, this is a solid SpongeBob game. It has its shining moments, and it has its stinkers. It's everything you'd expect a platformer to be. However, the gameplay tends to get boring after a while, the bullshit of trying to butt bounce an NPC, and there's nothing interesting or threatening about the boss fights. The only real thing I can say for these is that the camera isn't zoomed out far enough for me to see anything. Yeah, there's very little replay value, if any, but this game did star what would turn into an incredible video game series for SpongeBob. That would eventually go downhill again. So, SpongeBob SquarePants SuperSponge's final score is 6 out of 10. This isn't the greatest SpongeBob game, but it is a lot of fun, albeit if you don't count the reef blower segments. Well, that's SpongeBob out of the way. Now let's move on to my favorite show that came from Cartoon Network. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This is considered by fans of the show to be a very underrated fighting game. That's right, Billy and Mandy is a fighting game. No, not Super Smash Bros. Like fighting, but instead the fighting style of Power Stone. This ought to be good. So this game was published by Midway and developed by High Voltage Software. It was released on September 25th, 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo GameCube. The GBA version released on October 16th, and on November 19th, the Wii version was released as a launch title. That I actually did not know. Thanks, Wikipedia. Now, I already covered this game on my other channel, but I'm not too happy with it. I skipped a lot of shit, I screwed up on some shit, and the ultimate culprit? Movie Maker. Like CTR, this revisit will be different. Let's begin, per the usual, with the story. Hold on, I haven't really played this game in quite some time, so I better refresh my memory with the tutorial. In the game, you can attack with B and Y. You can jump and double jump with the A button, and you can pick up items or mount onto turrets or vehicles with the X button. This snake thing can be controlled with the C stick, then detonated with the Z button. The L button is your dash. You can even combine your jumps with mid-air attacks. Your character's icon has two bars, the top one representing your health, and the bottom one showing how much mojo rage you have. Filling up this bar once turns it yellow. Once you fill it, you can press the R button to punch the living snot out of whomever your unlucky victim is. If you wait, the bar will begin to turn white. If you fill up the white bar, you will see it start to flash, along with your character's icon being surrounded by a purple flame instead of green. With a press of the R button, you can trigger your character's mojo meltdown. These are the final smashes of the game. Grim sends everybody to the underworld, Billy lets out the nastiest gas ever, and Mandy unleashes her reality-shattering smile. Different characters have different meltdowns as well. After you defeat a fighter, they will be temporarily tuckered out. At this point, you have to approach them and attack them to trigger a QuickTime event to give them the final blow. In this sequence, you have to press 4 buttons, A, B, X, or Y, in the correct order from left to right. If done correctly, that character has been knocked out. If not, they stay alive and have a chance to pick up health to stay in the fight. This could also become a turning point. On the easiest difficulty, the B button is the only button that will appear. If you're playing the PS2 version, it will be square. Now that we've gotten used to the controls, it's time to figure out what's going on. The town of Ennsville has been sent into a free-for-all slapfest. This is caused by somebody opening Grim's trunk and releasing the mojo balls that were inside it. I'm pretty sure fans of the show, including yours truly, will be able to figure out who opened up Grim's trunk. For those who don't know, I won't spoil it. Anyway, Grim then informs us that these mojo balls can give anybody who touches them uncontrollable, supernatural rage. So what do Billy, Mandy, and Grim do? They set off to find who released the mojo balls.
But what kind of sicko would make us fight just for their own amusement?
Hey, don't look at me, I didn't ask for this. And yes, this game also includes some fourth wall breaks. Awesome! So let's check out who's in this game. Wow, a very nice list. Everybody has made at least 3 or more appearances in the show. In addition to them, we also have 5 stock enemies that you can unlock and play as in the Versus mode. The Giant Chicken, a Clown, a Nurgling, a Pumpkin, and Olaf the Viking. The game was featured on the demo disc for PlayStation Underground Jam Pack Volume 15. And according to IGN, they got to play as a few of the characters, including Billy, Mandy, Grim, and... Hold up. Mandy's dog Saliva was going to be a playable character? That reminds me, how come there's no Spurg, or Gladys, or Mindy? Speaking of the characters, the voice cast from the show has returned as well. We still have Richard Horvitz playing Billy, Greg Delisle voicing Mandy, Greg Eagles voicing Grimm, etc. However, Jack is not voiced by Wayne Knight, aka Newman from Seinfeld. Instead, he's voiced by Maurice LaMarche, who you may know as Brain from Pinky and the Brain, or Dr.
Nitrous Brio!
Of course, only Billy, Mandy, Grimm, and Irwin will be available when you start the game. Everybody else is unlocked via play in the game. Speaking of the voices, another awesome thing about this game is that Weird Al Yankovic is the game's announcer. Weird Al is known in this show as the voice of Dean Toblat's squid partner, the Squid Hat. So it's nice to see Midway asking him to lend his voice again. What's cool is that the stages vary on what character you choose. Since I'm playing as Mandy like last time, we're following the main quest. There are a total of 5 battles that take place in the story mode. The first stage is you and an AI facing another AI opponent. The second stage is you going one-on-one with the AI. The third and fourth battles are 2v2 team battles. And the fifth battle is a 4-player free-for-all at Billy's house. As you progress through the battle, you get more cutscenes to thicken the plot a little more. We set off to the pumpkin patch to fight Jack, then we go to the underworld to fight Nurgle and his son. Why we're teamed up with Hoss Delgado and not Billy will forever be a mystery to me. After this, we get more plot, then another fight at the chicken lab. We escape on top of the school bus.
I know who stole my mojo.
And then we head back to Billy's house. There we fight Mogar, General Scar, and Lord Payne.
Take me to the master!
Lord Payne, you're fighting her. So here we are at the end of the game. However, we're not finished just yet. We head into Billy's backyard to see the crash landing of the brain-eating meteor from Little Rock of Horrors, along with this theme song, Voltaire's Brains, which I can't play right now because copyright! Similar to Crash 2's final boss, this fight is simple. Just throw a grill or ice cream machine at the meteor, shoot it with the glass gun or Scythe 2.0, then punch the eyeball. Repeat until complete, all the while dodging his attacks. Once we defeat him, the mojo is back in Grimm's trunk. During this, Billy was laying a trail of chicken feathers to find his way back home. We then find out Grimm put a chicken curse on whoever opened his trunk. It turned out to be Billy. No surprises there. Billy opened it because he wanted to free Mo and Joe. I guess Grimm somehow trapped the Komodo brothers. Everybody then gains up on Billy, during which Mandy exclaims,
I don't know about the rest of you, but I hope this thing's got a mode where we can just beat on Billy.
well, Mandy, your wish comes true in the credits sequence. Here you're picking up different weapons as Mandy channels her inner Michael Bay and starts beating the absolute fuck out of Billy. This goes on for about 5 minutes. While you're doing this, you're listening to Darkness, the song you might have heard at the end of the episode Battle of the Bands, along with some other music from the show, and even the show's ending credits music. Unfortunately, this doesn't include Maxwell Adams saying, no, this is the end of the show, you're watching it backwards. That's a shame. One other neat charm about this game is that various environments and music are taken directly from the show. We also get to fight on the Boogie Bay from Big Boogie Adventure, at the Coliseum of Chaos, and even inside Dean Toblat's office. Now I'm starting to wonder why there was no Nigel Planner. Regardless, there are a heap of modes to choose from in the Versus mode. First, we have the usual stock contest, the last one standing. Next, we have Coin Battle, another mode taken from Smash Brothers. Then we get some new modes. Tag, where you attack each other and whoever's the last one attacked when time runs out will lose a life. Skull Keeper, here you score points by holding the Thronabular from the episode Wishbones. I think that's how you pronounce it. You can retrieve it from somebody else by attacking them. Capture and Hold, a fighting version of Capture the Flag. The more flags your team's color possess, the more points you'll score. Bask Eye Ball. Sports! You grab the Gatekeeper's eye, change it to your team's color, and throw it towards the Cyclops' eye. A very neat concept, I must say. Crush the Horde. Destroy the most NPCs to win. However many are required to win is up to you. Break Stuff. Kill more Nigel Planner dummies than your opponent or opponents. Enough said. And finally, King Reaper, which is the time battle. Score points by knocking out your opponents. Just like Smash Brothers, you lose points if you get knocked out. You'll get 3 points from a Mojo Meltdown, so go after those balls when you can. Balls. Then we have the infamous Mission Mode. Oh, won't this be lovely? You go through 5 tiers of 9 missions, each one getting more difficult. There's an extra tier in the Wii version that gives you Horror's Hand as a weapon, but that's quite alright. I can barely stand 3 tiers, let alone 6. Once you beat the story mode with every character and complete the mission mode, you unlock all of the characters and their costumes. Here's how you unlock the extra characters, the 5 stock enemies. So, in the game you have to complete mission mode, beat the story with every main character, play 100 versus matches, deliver 100,000 damage points in versus mode, and destroy every single letter in the credits sequence. Good God, that is insane, yet definitely doable. I mean, if I can do that, then you sure as hell should be able to. In the extras menu, you can replay the credits, look at character descriptions, concept art, and watch a few videos. There are 4 videos: a Cartoon Network Fridays promo, the Happy Feet video game trailer, and the trailer for the Ant Bully game. The 4th video is a trailer for Ed, Edd n Eddy The Misadventures, and it can be unlocked via completing the first mission. Did you know? The PS2 version comes with a behind-the-scenes video and the episode Little Rock of Horrors when inserted into a legitimate DVD player. I don't have a genuine PS2 disc, so you'll just have to take my word for it. In addition to the various characters, they also get their own alternate costumes, which is super cool and adds more variety. Let's check some of them out. I picked Mandy with her clown outfit from Attack of the Clowns.
Destroy us all!
Yeah, that one. Billy is Billy Bot from Big Boogie Adventure, Grim is in his Damsel in Distress outfit from Terror of the Black Knight, and Fred Fredburger is in his Hawaiian shirt from Big Boogie Adventure.
You were asking for it.
Mandy! How dare you! Fred Fredburger is a cool, sweet, innocent child. He's not mean. I take that back. Fuck him up. So, that was the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This game was overall a really solid title to own. You have the memorable cast, the cool costumes, the several fourth wall breaks,
It's button mashing time.
and of course the slapstick humor we've grown accustomed to from the show.
Get up again, and I'll knock out the rest of your teeth.
Okay, Mandy, calm down. This is definitely not a must-have by any means. I just think it needs a little more recognition than it was given. I still believe a 7 is a fair score for this game, so it will remain as is. Both of these 2 games were super fun in some way, shape, or form. How should I score these 2 games together? I'll do what I did in my Insane Trilogy review. With the 2 scores, SpongeBob SuperSponge and Billy and Mandy's average combo is 7 out of 10. You can even combine your jumps with mid-air attacks. Your character's icon has 2 bars, the top one representing your health, and the bottom one showing how much mojo rage you have. Filling up this bar once turns it yellow. Once you fill it, you can press the R button to punch the living snot out of whomever your unlucky victim is. If done correctly, that character has been knocked out. If not, they stay alive and have a chance to pick up health. I'm so close to figuring out why this guy hasn't been making any videos. I'm missing something. What is it? Why can't I discover this big secret? I must ask as many people as I possibly can. Someone has to know. Shadow Man! What? Do you know what happened to this guy? No, and I don't care. Now go away. I'm trying to get this solo at the beginning of Hopper Teacher. Wow, you suck. I'll have to call up all his friends. Envoy Glitch, do you know what happened to JuniorNitro 24?
Last I heard, he was in a coma or some shit.
Do you know how it happened?
Nope.
Damn, I'll have to try someone else. Sterling, do you know how JuniorNitro 24 got into a coma?
Uh-oh, I didn't even know he was in a coma. I'll keep you posted, though.
Cool, thanks. Let's see, who else? Ah, Yokai of Darkness. It's been a while. Do you know how JuniorNitro 24 got into a coma?
I was wondering why he hasn't been talking to us. I know just as much as you do.
Shit! Well, that's everybody. Who else can I ask? I know what happened to the man you speak of. The Grim Reaper. Well, at least someone knows. How did this happen? As you may or may not know, his channel recently hit 800 subscribers.
Ever since, he spent too much time watching G-Fuck videos. And that's a bad thing because he laughed so hard he slipped into that coma. He's been trapped in his room for 7 months. Is there any way to bring him back? Yes, but you will need this. How will this game bring him back? It is one of many games he promised to review for his return. This one holds a special power within it. It can bring him back and restore him to his original state. What about the G-Fox sickness? That will be cured as well. You must find him and deliver that game to him. He has the other one. Thanks, Grim. I never thought you of all people would help me out with this. Hey, it gives me a break from my chores.
Grim!
Uh-oh. Gotta go! Damn it. Why do I keep getting my rope stuck? Now I know what to do. Yoink! Well, here it is. Looks like nobody's home. I'm going in. It's you! Now that I know for sure, I'm gonna do what has to be done. Yeah! What year is this? 2018. Damn, I missed my 800 subscriber special. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. Wait, how did you get here? And how did you bring me back? Look under you. This game? That's right, this game has the power to restore my health. But its effect will only become permanent if you review it. But that's impossible. I don't have it in me. Bullshit! You made that 700 subscriber special, and damn it, you can handle this one too! You're right. I've got to do this, for the sake of my health and my channel. Now, where to begin? What's going on, guys? My name is JuniorNitro 24, and as you can see, I've had better days. But John's Reviews is back after being gone for so long, and today we're going to be taking a look at my savior that brought me back from my coma. Super Mario Strikers. If I don't, I'll slip right back in, and I would like to stay alive, thank you very much. So let's pop this into my Wii and get going. Now, I really don't care that much about soccer, but damn is this game addictive. The game's opening cutscene starts off with Mario and Wario fighting in a... Well, never mind then. Super Mario Strikers was developed by a company called Next Level Games, who are known for their work on the Metroid series. This game was also known as Mario Smash Football in Europe. It was released on November 18th, 2005 in Europe, December 5th, 2005 in North America, January 19th, 2006 in Japan, and April 6th, 2006 in Australia. I never thought we would get a Mario game before Japan did. That's weird. It received an average score of 7 out of 10 by reviewers. And by reviewers, I mean these hypocrites. The game is solely based around Mario and his friends and foes coming together and seeing who can do the best Lionel Messi impersonation. And I absolutely love this game for its simplicity of introducing someone to the sport if they haven't seen or played it before. And it doesn't confuse the player in the process. To start things off in the main menu, there are a variety of games we can play. Let's begin with the tutorial, Strikers 101. This gives you a good idea on how the game is played. Your objective is to put the ball in the other team's goal. Very simple. The grudge match is the quick play mode where you select a character and your opponent and get right into the action. In cup battles, you compete against other players to win as many matches as you can. The Mushroom Cup sees you competing against 3 AI players.
The point system is the same as real-life soccer. 3 points for a win, 0 points for a loss. How do you get the 1 point, you might ask? Well, these games don't end after time runs out. If the score remains tied, you go into sudden death, where the next goal scored is the winner. At the end of the cup battles, you win the trophy if you had the best record. This process is the same with the Flower and Star Cups, only with more teams. In the Bowser Cup, 8 teams compete to qualify for a mini playoff bracket. The top 4 qualify. Don't get eliminated and you win. Beating the Bowser Cup also unlocks the Super Team, but you have to beat them first. The Super Cup battles are the same, only you play 2 round robins, and the lowest difficulty you can play on is Professional. The custom battles are where the most fun occurs. You can create your own tournaments with any of the 9 characters. They are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi, and the Super Team. They also get a choice of sidekicks to aid them in the matches: Birdo, Hammer Bro, Toad, and Koopa Troopa. There are 7 stadiums: the Palace, Pipeline Central, the Underground, Conga Coliseum, Crater Field, the Battle Dome, and Bowser Stadium. A Bowser Stadium, but no Bowser? I think they forgot that. Each character has their own animation for when they enter the field, score a goal, win a match, etc. Some of them are cool, and some of them are... How did that get approved again? They also possess what's known as a Super Strike. By holding the B button long enough, you'll see a meter pop up. Press B twice when the meter hits the green or yellow areas for your best shot at a goal. If you time it just right, you'll initiate a perfect Super Strike, which scores every single time. And by the way, Super Strike goals are worth 2 points. In terms of presentation, they hit right on the money. I even like how the devs took the presentation to the next level. Fuck you! And gave everybody proper soccer attire. Everything from uniforms to pads to shorts and even cleats. Holy shit, it's so cool. Now for me, I like to play with some cheats. Oh yeah, there are cheats, and they make the game a lot more fun. These cheats can be unlocked by reaching certain milestones in cup battles. The max milestone is 9,999, and I know this because that's the total number of hits I have. So why is Bowser not a playable character? Well, he actually is a gimmick. Every once in a while he'll drop down and brew up some chaos, or at least he'll try to. And for the record, I had him turned on for every match I recorded, so he shows up whenever he feels like it. Even with it turned on, he sometimes doesn't show up at all. He just feels lazy. In the options menu, you can change your audio settings, adjust the camera zoom level, change the aspect ratio, and watch the credits. There are so many fun things that you can experiment with this game. The fact that you can create your own soccer tournaments is awesome. I've never been so attached to a Mario sporting game. If anybody out there is looking for a sports game that has an iconic video game character in it that isn't tennis or basketball or golf, then definitely grab a copy of Super Mario Strikers. This may sound kinda short, but I really don't have a lot to say, because there really isn't that much else to do.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
Sure, it's only soccer with Mario, so it's gonna be a small game, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's certainly a fun time for multiplayer competitions. Super Mario Strikers' final score is 8 out of 10. Woo! Right off the bat, I know this is gonna be good. To start things off, kick-ass music. And Bowser is here! Yes! He is no longer an NPC! And he's got Wolverine claws. Nice! Speaking of which, Mario seems to be housing new equipment as well. In fact, everybody is. Well, good to see Next Level Games continued with that. The opening FMV does a great job showing what this game is all about. And we briefly see Bowser Jr., but yeah, he's also in this game. The FMV ends with Mario kicking the ball, and then it cuts to the title screen. And yes, I was actually able to record the intro this time. Is it wrong to say Daisy's kinda hot in this game? So starting in the main menu, we get a good chunk of things to choose from. What I like about Strikers 101 is that they set it up like an actual tutorial, and it covers everything you need to know about Mario Strikers Charged. It ends with you playing as Mario taking on Bowser with all the skills you learned. Shaking the Wiimote causes your player to body check your opponent. Flicking the nunchuck changes what item you use, which of course you use with the C button. The Z button lobs the ball, the D-pad is the D/slide tackle, and get this, you pause by pressing the 1 button. What's more awkward, trying to press the plus to pause, or trying to press the 1 to pause? Yeah, I think we know that answer. Okay, let's see. Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. Wait, so if I pay for internet, I can play with other people online? What do you think this is, 2009? I don't have that kind of money. Striker challenges. These are pretty neat. Till sudden death do us part. Alright, let's do this. This will probably take a while. Oh, never mind. That was easy. Next we have Domination Mode, which is the grudge match mode for this game. You customize your settings, pick your characters, pick your sidekicks, choose a side, pick a location, and play. You can change the computer level, the length of the series, decide whether or not you want time limit or score limit, and even activate cheats, which are unlocked by beating Striker Cup mode with every character. And there are 12, 3 of which need to be unlocked. We have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, and Bowser. No more Super Team. You unlock Bowser Jr., Diddy Kong, and PD Piranha in the Striker Cup campaign. Yep, no more cup battles. Instead, you go through a career mode-like structure as you begin the road to the Striker Cup. They're sort of like the Bowser Cup, except when you win, you have to face the champion in a best-of-3 series. I won the Fire Cup with no troubles, but then it was the Crystal Cup that made me leave. Well, that's all for that mode, but we still have a lot to cover. Sidekicks make their return, and there's a lot more customization. You are no longer limited to just one. You can pick whomever you want. The 8 sidekicks are Hammer Bro, Toad, Birdo, Koopa Troopa, and newcomers include Monty Mole, Shy Guy, Dry Bones, and Boo. All of these sidekicks have skill shots, which make them broken as fuck. Hammer Bro throws a bunch of hammers, which, if close enough, stuns the goalie. Toad sets the ball on fire. Birdo does whatever this is. Koopa Troopa fires a giant metal shell, which stuns Critter. Yes, that's the goalie's name. Monty Mole digs through and into the goal. Shy Guy launches a bullet bill toward the goal. Dry Bones electrocutes the ball, and anybody it touches, and Boo turns invisible. If there's one sidekick I don't like, it's Monty Mole. I don't know if it's me, but whenever I play against him, he's just a dick. Even when I'm not bothering him, he just comes up to my player and chucks him into the fence. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Monty Mole! Take that, you prick! Anyway, there are a total of 10 brand new stages, as well as all 7 stages from the first game returning as well, including some graphical updates. That means that there is a grand total of 17 stages in this game. That's more than double the amount of the first. Talk about taking this game to the next level. You already said that, shut up! We have the Vice, Thunder Island, the Sand Tomb, the Classroom, the Lava Pit, the Wastelands, Crystal Canyon, the Dump, Stormship Stadium, Galactic Stadium, the Battle Dome, Bowser Stadium, Crater Field, Conga Coliseum, the Palace, Pipeline Central, and the Underground. Oh my god, they removed the squiggly line from Bowser Stadium, 2 out of 10, worst game of all time, the Dark Souls of sports. The way you score is not by being skillful with the ball, but instead the ball lights up various colors. The brighter color the ball is, the better chance you have at scoring. When the ball is white, that's your best shot because it is charged. Huh? Huh? I get it. You charge up the ball by holding your shot, passing it to your teammates, etc. The captains can charge up this ball for what is now known as a Mega Strike. Everyone has one. It's the same concept as the Super Strike, but now you set how many balls you shoot with the first meter, and the second meter determines how fast the shots are. However many balls end up in your goal is the total for that Mega Strike, which can induce a major comeback. This is actually really cool, if the computer players weren't so brutal so I could actually pull this off. This game punishes you for no particular reason. Oh, and don't think you're the only one who can pull off the Mega Strike, because so can your opponent. When this happens, you have to line up your Wiimote with the ball and press A before it passes, or it goes in. Slow shots are pretty easy, green shots are a little more challenging, and orange shots? Good luck with that. Items make their return too. Every item from the first game can be used again, but now captains can get a special power-up that nobody else has. There's Super Mario, Super Luigi, Peach's Freeze Frame, Daisy's Crystal Smash. My god, is this Mario Strikers or Crash Bandicoot? Wario's Farts. Disgusting. Waluigi's Thorny Wall, DK's Conga Smash, Yoshi's Egg Roll, Bowser's Flame, Bowser Jr.'s Sonic Roar, Diddy Kong's UFO, and Petey's Mud Spill. Again, gross. Did you know, the music that plays while Mario is super was actually used before this game, like in this episode of Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi.
Switching to flight mode. Oop, that's fight mode.
Speaking of the music, amazing!
Let me put it in perspective. Crash Bandicoot music? Awesome. Mario Kart 8 music? Kick-ass. Mario Strikers Charge music?
Fucking genius!
Every stage, excluding the Strikers ones, has their own background music, my favorite being the one for the classroom. Wait a minute, I thought video games were supposed to give me a break from school, not put me back in!
I give up!
Every single character has their own theme music. Holy shit, Next Level really went all out with this game. The best music is for Bowser's theme because, well, he's the motherfucking King Koopa, baby! The best part is the epic metal that plays when Bowser's pissed and starts lighting up his sidekicks. Speaking of Bowser, I like how when he screams like this, Shy Guy's just like,
not my problem.
There's just one minor gripe I have for this game. Where's the custom battles? Those were my favorite thing about the first game, and it's gone. You can't make your own tournaments anymore. Come on, if you can put 12 characters, 8 sidekicks, 17 stages, a career mode, online play, and a relive the moment type mode, what is the excuse you have for no custom battles?
I'm sorry, I can't game today because I'm feeling rather ill.
Well, in any event, this game is still very addicting and fun to play in 2018. Like Strikers, definitely grab this game. It's everything from the first game improved greatly. No custom battles? I can put that aside because this game gives you a bunch of other content to compensate. One more thing before I go, the animations are back with some new ones. Yes, Waluigi is still doing that. Only this time his teammates are in on it. Friendships beware because this game is probably going to ruin them, just like Mario Kart. Oh yeah, there's also a Hall of Fame and options menu, but we all know what these two menus are.
There actually was a time when I preferred this game to Strikers. Well, that changed. Despite all the improvements the Next Level made, the fact that there are more characters, more stages, and more customization, and how everybody has their own theme music, I honestly still prefer Strikers to Charge simply because it's more of a soccer game and less of an arcade-like style. This opinion doesn't hinder its score, however. Don't get me wrong, this is the superior choice, and it's much better than its predecessor. I just preferred the first game to this one. I will say, though, that Mario Strikers Charged's final score is 9 out of 10.
Well, one project is out of the way. Now to move on to something else. I wonder... You know what? Let's go revisit an old friend. Well, here we are. Over a year has passed since this beautiful charm was born and released to the public. There were some ups and downs, but overall the game was packed with lots of joy, rage, nostalgia, and everything in between. If you couldn't obviously tell, I love Crash Bandicoot. These games defined my childhood, especially CTR. So seeing this brought back so many fond memories. So what does Vicarious Visions decide to do for its 1 year anniversary? Well, in addition to patching the game for the PS4 version, they decided to make it a multi-platform release. On June 29th, 2018, literally a day short of 1 year after the initial launch, the Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy was re-released on the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. While the Switch and Steam versions have their moments, I'm afraid the Xbox One version didn't turn out to drive as much of an audience as the other consoles, which I have predicted would happen.
Now don't get me wrong, there are people out there who enjoy playing this on the One, but just not as many as the OG or the Switch.
Well, enough history, let's get into this. I'm going to start off with one thing. 2 out of the 3 scores for each individual game will be retired and replaced with a new one. Are they higher or lower? Well, keep watching to find out. I can say though that Warped will keep its 9, so you can narrow down which 2 I'm talking about. Let's begin, as always, with the very first game, Crash Bandicoot, complete with a brand new level that was cut by the original developers because it was too hard. Yep, I can definitely see why.
Now I'm not going to go super in depth like I did last year. Instead, I'm going to share my thoughts on how the game looks and plays with the new updates compared to last year. But first, skip you! Oh yeah, did that feel good. Okay, so I load up the game and... I thought these were supposed to be faster. Well, they're slightly faster, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt and hope that's the only long loading screen we encounter. And sure enough it was. After beating the first stage again, loading my 100% completion and going into Stormy Ascent, the load times were indeed faster. What did VV do that greatly reduced these things, and how come they couldn't do this to begin with? Looking at the intro side by side between the PS4 and the Switch, I noticed subtle changes, particularly to the lighting, and ugh, that looks awful. Of course, the Switch isn't all that like it was advertised to be, but it still runs the game real well. I can safely say that while I was playing this game on my vacation in Indiana, it ran perfectly, and I had no issues with the graphics, the controls, or anything like that. And there was no input lag either. None that I could notice anyway. But enough about that. Let's talk about Stormy Ascent. Well, it's a level, and it's hard. Not nearly as hard as Slippery Climb though. Why? Because you can fucking die!
You piece of shit!
That was certainly something I did in this run I recorded for the Revisit. The level itself is great. The platforming is really challenging, the enemy placements are crucial for progression, there's only 3 checkpoints, and they even included the Brio bonus round that didn't make the cut. And it's hard as all balls. The level is very difficult, but not too bad once you get the hang of it. Also, is it me, or does Crash's jumping feel a little bit tweaked? It's probably just me. But other than that, my thoughts from last year still apply to this. However, Crash Bandicoot scores higher this time. It scores 8 out of 10. Let's move on now to Crash Bandicoot 2, which, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda shat on for most of my time with that game. The jumping is tweaked, of course, the levels look bright and colorful, and the dialogue has been slightly improved. The vehicles still feel the same though, so I was still having a hard time with the polar bear levels. In comparison, once again, there are lighting changes so the Switch can actually run the game. Also, remember how bland the talking head messages were? Well, they got fixed, and now have a background that dims the rest of the screen. Good. What's not good is that they still didn't fix the transition between Cortex and Coco. Oh well, at this point it's a nitpick. I will state this right now. I am okay with Crash 2. I am not okay with this. Ugh! Why is it so fuzzy like that? Look at it! That's awful! But I bashed on this game and made half of what I said up just to have a different opinion. But don't you worry, folks. My love for Crash 2 has returned to the fullest. Yes, this game got improvements. While some are minor, the major one is the presentation, like the warp rooms. They look much better. Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back also scores higher. It scores 8 out of 10. Finally, let's go revisit Warped. Rather, let's go check out the brand new level that came free with the game. Future Tense. Yes, that is a pun.
Of course!
This level looks beautiful. Like Stormy Ascent, there are plenty of challenges, secrets, and hidden areas in this level. It's got everything about Warped packed into one giant level. In this level, you get a bonus round and a death route. There are a bunch of other puzzles that need to be solved throughout the level as well. For example, this spike head thing needs to be spun into to ricochet into a box located off the path. Of course, you wouldn't notice that on the Switch version, because there are no reflections, not even in the snow levels from Crash 2. So if you're trying to play this level on the Switch version, good fucking luck. Also, grab all the powers before you play it. While one of them is optional, the other 4 are practically required to get both the gems. And I got a gold relic. I now have 108% on Warped. I feel achieved. This might be my magnum opus for the trilogy. Anyways, back on topic. Other than the silly little gripes I had, Future Tense is still an amazing level, and it goes to show that Vicarious Visions is ready to make an entirely new Crash Bandicoot game. Not to mention, this is the first level that was designed with the original trilogy formula in 20 years, meaning it's the first time since Warped release on the PS1. Speaking of which, remember how I said the load times were much faster this year? Well, now they are as fast, if not faster, than the original games on a PS2 with fast disk speed settings. That speaks volumes. Now if I fail, it's no big deal. It will only take about 20 seconds to reload the level. This is fucking huge compared to nearly a minute. It's a gigantic improvement. Also, they brought back Dingodile's line that he says after you beat him.
No worries.
Well, it's not as loud and clear as the original, but I guess better than nothing. Overall, the Sane Trilogy saw some minor and dramatic changes. Some were of course for the better, but then there are some that make me scratch my head and wonder why. However, it is still worth picking up and playing. Crash Bandicoot Warped keeps its score of 9 out of 10. Could future 10s have made it a 10? Honestly, no. It'll take more than a new flawless level to give Warped a perfect score.
Now to answer the days-old question. Is this the definitive way to play the original trilogy? I mean, they say you can't beat the classics, but in this case, this game can. Does that mean it's the definitive choice? No. I'd say play the originals first, then play the Sane Trilogy.
So, now that we have our 3 scores, 2 being improved, the Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy Year 2 Edition scores 8 out of 10. So I've been taking quite a long time to figure out the next game I wanted to review. There's always been something in the back seat just waiting to be released into the world. Well, I'm finally doing that.
How fitting too that Halloween is coming up. And what better game to review than one from one of the most devious and most terrifying video game companies ever created. Phoenix Games.
Before we delve into the world of mediocrity, we need to prepare ourselves, and we can do that with another lackluster video game company, Midas Interactive. Midas is the father of Phoenix Games, founded in 1999 and doing exactly what its child is infamous for. Taking beloved Disney films and hiring German animation company Dingo Pictures to completely rip off said films. One of the more famous movies Midas and Dingo ripped off was Tarzan with Lord of the Jungle, introduced to us by none other than Square-Eyed Jack. But today's game of discussion is Lion and the King. In case you couldn't tell, it's based off the Lion King.
And just so everyone is aware, this is the first time I'm seeing this. And after sitting through Dalmatians 3, I think I can handle what will happen in this.
There was a silence in the jungle again.
Never mind.
So this starts off as something completely not related to the Lion King, other than Mufasa and Simba. I mean, the king and his son Robin. I don't know either. From what I gathered, because I didn't listen to the foreplay at the beginning, these two are friends, and they constantly get into trouble. It gets to the point where Robin's dad, the king, has to keep him home, leaving Dundee, Robin's friend, all alone. Robin's dad keeps warning him about the Black Panthers.
Well, this is already starting out to be pleasant. That's as pleasant as it's gonna get, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, the Black Panther, fucked if I know his name, is figuring out how to retrieve the diamonds. Hold up, what are the gorillas from Lord of the Jungle doing here? Why is Dingo reusing old characters instead of coming up with new ones? Anyway, the Panther's son, Mew Mew, is tired of his father always plotting and never having enough time for him. Oh great, it's one of those movies. Mew Mew goes off and over the border unnoticed and finds Robin.
Your father, the Black Panther, is your father?
Your father, the Panther, is your father? If I didn't know any better, I'd assume Dingo Pictures had a mental problem.
They start to fight, which causes the king to step in. They both return home. Robin then goes off to the cave, being joined by Mew Mew and Dundee. They encounter a snake who claims the diamonds belong to him? Her? It's kinda hard to tell with that voice. When they get in there, Robin and Mew Mew fall to the bottom.
Stop! Stop! You can't get into that cave, it goes straight down!
Oh, that would have been nice to know. You know, before we fucking went inside?
Dundee sees they've fallen and goes to the Panther to tell him his son fell. But he gets caught by the gorillas and eventually left behind while they go over the border. Why is there a border to begin with? Do they hate each other that much? Damn. Well, the king and the Black Panther meet each other and start fighting. Neat. During all of this, everybody else is helping Robin and Mew Mew out of the cave, and they also grab the diamonds. They then go tell the two what awful fathers they are, and all is forgiven. They split the diamonds, they live together peacefully, and Robin is friends with both Dundee and Mew Mew now. And that's it. I don't understand what they were going for with this. There's no clear indication as to what this cartoon movie thing is supposed to be about. And frankly, that's not a good thing. Much like everything else Midas touches, apparently. This is just a complete mess, and it goes on and on for just under 30 minutes. My god, 30 minutes of literally nothing! It is easily one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen Dalmatians 3, like I said earlier. That was torture! Lion and the King scores 1 out of fucking 10. Everything about this film is complete shit. Not to mention, half the fucking sound effects are nowhere to be found. I feel like they should put this on the PS1 Mini Classic to show people how fucking pathetic Midas Interactive really is. Oh, I never mentioned that this game was released on the PS1. And the whole thing looked like it came from the Sega CD. Well, sadly, we're not done. Son of the Lion King, or Lion and the King 2, is the exciting sequel to this beloved shit stain. But Midas couldn't possibly put this game on the next generation of PlayStation. Enter Phoenix Games. These guys need no introduction. If you watched Cat Icarus or Square Eye Jack for some time now, you are well aware of Phoenix Games and their existence. And they decided to take over as the publisher for Dingo's Animations. One of them includes the sequel to our first game of the day, Lion and the King 2, or better known as its PS2 title, Son of the Lion King. Oh boy, I can't wait to see what this game has in store for us today. Well, it's got 3 to 4 shit minigames that deserve no slight inch of mention, so let's just dive right into the feature presentation.
There was a silence in the jungle again.
Wait a second. It's the exact same fucking thing? Why? Why in the fuck would they re-release a game on the PS2 that was already released on the PS1 and call it a fucking sequel? I just don't understand it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have never seen this before. Why? Because when game companies make a sequel, they make sure it's fucking different from the original. Clearly Phoenix Games didn't do that. All of it is the same. Same shit games, same shit animation, same shit voice acting, same shit story, and same shit score. 1 out of fucking 10. I cannot believe they got away with this. How did they seriously not look at this and go, oh wait, this already fucking happened. We should make an actual sequel. I heard there's a third game for the DS, but God knows if that's the fucking same. Wanna know the worst part about this? Son of the Lion King was sold in 2006 at full price. So why would they copy Lion and the King? Oh, it was the same game. Never a sequel. Well, this is awkward. Okay, well, we managed to clear that up, but that means I have to find some other garbage game from these guys. I found one. Legend of Hercules. With a K. To avoid copyright. This game was released in 2007, the same year as Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. Well, that's not a good sign. Let's forget about that and watch some Hercules. With a K. Okay, I'm gonna give credit where the credit is due. This actually starts off better than all the other cartoons I've seen from Phoenix Games. So here is the story. Zeus's strong son Hercules, with a K, has become the world's strongest man. Hera does not like this and sends King Eurystheus to get rid of him. If you're wondering what happened to Zeus, he got drunk. What a father. Eurystheus gives Hercules some nectar, which makes Herc morph into some weird creature, perhaps a Hydra, I don't even know. He passes out and fights a Hydra in his dream. However, he wasn't dreaming. He actually destroyed the city of Thebes. He even injured the love of his life, Deianira. In order to save her, he must confront his fear, the 5-headed Hydra from his dream. Along the way, he bumps into a Bora, tames it, and confronts a Cyclops. If there's anything good I can say about this, the animation looks so much better. One problem I have with this game, though, is that over time it gets out of sync. Oh, great! Meanwhile, Herc finishes his chores and moves on, where he fights the Hydra. And he eventually does end up defeating it by tricking the heads into suicide.
Stop picking on him!
Are you sure this game was for kids?
Anyway, Herc returns to the king, only to find out that Hera took Deianira. He then climbs Mount Olympus, while Hera is trying to send the other gods to knock him off.
Long story short, they all failed because it's Hercules! With a K!
He gets to the top, greets his father, confronts Hera, claims Deianira, and that's it.
I think you are.
Deianira, can you speak up, please? What are you saying?
I'm up to the task, Father.
Wait, they don't even kiss? It just ends? Yep, it just ends. Abruptly.
If there is one thing this game has going for it, the animation is pretty good, the voice acting is a little better, and it tells a tolerable story. However, it gets out of sync, and that's the problem I have with it. The voiceover and sound effects have to stay in pace with the visuals, otherwise it sounds really bad. It's more apparent after about 6 or 7 minutes.
And yes, this game lasts a whopping 45 fucking minutes. That's how long they dragged this on. A lot of it was just filler. Are you fucking kidding me? I guess they were trying to add more so the full retail price made sense, but come on, this isn't even trying. They just thought of some random anecdotes to put into their 45-minute runtime. Because of that, Legend of Hercules, with a K, scores 2 out of 10. Oy, where do I even begin? Well, let's start with the Game Awards. During this show, CTR was announced to get remastered on the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. They also showed off that it's going to include the karts from Crash Nitro Kart. So you know what? Let's go check out Crash Nitro Kart since it is once again relevant. It hasn't been relevant since that whole Mario Kart 8 thing back in 2014. I know the last time I visited Nitro Kart was pretty dumb, so we're going to try again. This would be my 3rd revisit. Well, at least I'm going back to fix everything. So, here we are, 2003. A time when everybody was putting Wrath of Cortex into their fire pit because of how trash it was. Crash was due for a new game to keep his fans hooked. Enter Crash Nitro Kart. Now this game was released as the quote-unquote ultimate successor to Crash Team Racing. The working title, believe it or not, was Crash Team Racing 2. Crash Nitro Kart was released on November 11th, 2003 for the PlayStation 2, Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, and Game Boy Advance. I will cover the GBA version some other time, don't worry. Later in 2004, it was released for the N-Gage and various mobile devices. For this review, I'm playing the Xbox version, with reduced load times. And no other changes. Well, let's start with the story. Crash and friends are having a relaxing day, when suddenly a giant beam takes their entire house up to the skies. Meanwhile, Cortex, Tiny, and Engine are trying to figure out how to get rid of the Bandicoots.
Dingo Dial! Throw the switch!
When suddenly, that same beam takes them up. They all end up at a coliseum located on top of a floating rock, far from the likes of Earth. Now here's where the similarities with CTR start to become noticeable. The Bandicoots and Cortex are later greeted by Emperor Velo the 27th, who is voiced by Steve Bloom. Not Wells. Fucking dumbass past me. He has sent everybody here to race for their freedom. If they refuse, Velo will destroy the Earth. Boy, Uka Uka's been trying to conquer the world for years, and this guy's mere moments away from blowing it to bits. Anyway, we get to the main menu, and this doesn't look so bad. In the adventure mode, you don't pick one of 8 characters, but instead you pick one of 2 teams of 3. Team Bandicoot or Team Cortex. This means you can switch between the 3 characters if you wish. Team Bandicoot is Crash, Coco, and Crunch. Team Cortex includes Cortex, Engine, and Tiny. N-Trance and Oxide also have teams of their own. Oxide has Zem and Zam aiding him, and Trance has Dingodile and Polar hypnotized to help him. In the adventure mode, we go through 4 different worlds with 3 tracks and a boss in each one. There's also the Coliseum, which is the main hub area. Now when we start, one of the first things we see is Aku Aku talking to us. Or Uka Uka, depending on the team you pick. Are you okay, dude? Crash Team Racing was made in 1999. Back then, this was acceptable. Now it just looks horrific. Also like CTR, the worlds give you plenty of room to practice your driving skills. So the first track is Crash Cove, and oh, I'm sorry. The first track is actually Inferno Island, and look at this. This is the same jump shortcut from Crash Cove. In fact, a lot of tracks do this. Tiger Temple, Tiny Temple, Cortex Castle, Clockwork Wampa, Engine Labs, Assembly Lane, it's the exact same thing, but mirrored. And welcome to how to make a fucking brilliant game 101. Step 1, do whatever the fucking fuck Naughty Dog does. Instant fucking success. Yes, that is how you do it, but at least put some effort into it. Anyway, after collecting the trophies, we confront the world's boss. Honestly, the bosses are the real highlights of this game. They include Kronk, a monkey who's an ass, Nash, a shark with attention deficit disorder, Norm, a mime with multiple personality disorder, and Geary, a robot with obsessive-compulsive disorder. After collecting 12 trophies and defeating all 4 bosses, you can confront Velo himself. And you race on a new track, Hyper Spaceway. Now, a lot of people don't like that you have to race on a new track, but I think that's what makes it so challenging. In CTR, you raced on Oxide Station before facing Oxide, allowing you to know the track and prepare yourself. Here, that luxury is gone, and you have to learn a brand new track. I think this is actually a neat concept. As for the race itself,
Velo is fucking insane!
More insane than Oxide on 200cc. I shit you not when I say this was one of the hardest final bosses I ever faced as a kid. I even remember getting stuck on him. But once you do defeat Velo, he does exactly what Oxide did. You haven't truly beaten him, so now he wants you to gather all of his time relics. Oh boy. Okay, yes, it's okay to have the time relics in a racing game because you want to go fast, but here's the problem. The controls are pretty bad. I can say with a grain of salt that Crash Nitro Kart's controls are unbelievably sluggish. Your car feels like it takes forever to actually start fucking moving. Even if you slightly tap a wall, all your speed you slowly built up is gone. This is one of the major reasons people always bring this score down for this game. Why out of all things that you copied from CTR were the controls not one of those things? I know it's different hardware, but come on, it's a racing game. Tight controls need to be part of the criteria. And the fact of the matter is, Crash Nitro Kart does not allow fast-paced racing. You would think that maybe the tracks were designed to compensate, right? Well, in terms of design, yes. In terms of length, no. Some of these last about a minute per lap. Now, you wouldn't think that's a problem, but it is when there's only 13 tracks and half of them are so long. Alright, let's get back on topic. Yes, like CTR, there are extra collectibles. First, we have the CNK tokens, collected by grabbing the letters C, N, and K, and winning the race. Then we have the time relic races, and a lot of these boxes, don't even bother, as majority of them are painstakingly off the main path. Look at this crap. And in the battle arenas, you have to collect 20 crystals scattered about. Like CTR! After doing all this, you are introduced to the gems. By racing across 3 tracks in a row and earning the most overall points, you will win that gem. Like CTR! There are only 4 this time. Unlike CTR, the gem cups are not based around tracks of that color token, or 3 tracks from a certain world. They're just the arcade cups. The 13th and final relic, Hyper Spaceway, requires you to complete the 4 gem cups. But wait!
Did you know?
Did you know? If you collect the blue gem, you can go into and collect the Hyper Spaceway relic without having the other gems already collected. Great game testing. Once you collect everything, you confront Velo again. When you beat him, he explodes and reveals his true form. He's tiny. No, he's literally small. The ending is different depending on the team you pick. In the Bandicoot's ending, Velo sends them home. In Cortex's ending, the gang gets sent to Terra. I like Cortex's ending a little better. Well, that's the story. Now let's talk about the gameplay.
Now this game looks gorgeous. From the environments, to the character models, to the FMVs, there's a lot of charm this game had. Pretty sexy stuff for the consoles it was on.
I also like the loading screens. I think they're neat.
However, you still have to worry about the controls. Unfortunately, Vivi didn't perfect that.
Isn't that kind of funny how these guys would later develop the Sane trilogy?
Please stop trying to be Naughty Dog.
Sorry, Michael. They ain't listening to you.
Did you know?
Did you know? Various tracks from CTR were going to be recreated in Nitro Kart with a cut retro mode. But looking at the track layouts, they kinda already did that. I need to bring back the problem counter somewhere, so I'm going to start here. Problem number 1. Your teammates are either useless or complete assholes. You can't hit your teammates in team races. If your teammate is better than you and wins the race, it's okay, you still get the trophy. iBoy came in dead last in one of his races, but thanks to his teammate, the game still gave him the trophy. In team races, you will have a team meter. It slowly charges while you and your teammates stay close to each other. Once it's full, you can unleash a team frenzy, which gives you unlimited items for a short time. iBoy and I like to call this the item fit, because it feels like the meter represents your rage towards your teammate, and when you finally get the chance to make them go away, you just start throwing everything everywhere. Problem number 2. You can't unlock any of the boss characters. Why can't I play as the bosses?
I was able to do that in CTR, so why not here?
And before you jump in the comments, I know they're playable in the GBA version, but we're not talking about that version. Another new feature in this game, one of the major gameplay mechanics, is anti-gravity. In these sections, the tires turn sideways, allowing for more dynamic track designs. Wait! I can hear you guys screaming, Nintendo did it first! Yes, they did already do this. But with F-Zero, a racing series they abandoned. This was not the case with Mario Kart until the 8th release. 11 fucking years later.
The fact of the matter is, Crash Bandicoot beat Super Mario to the punch. And let's not forget, Sonic beat Mario to this as well in 2007 with Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. Well, moving on.
We can also customize the battle arena modes. Nice. It's just, nobody wants to play this game with me. Problem number 3. The minimap is not accurate at all. In some cases, I'm shown ahead of where I actually am on the track. Instead of tracking the character by their position, the dots have set paths that are marked by the track's built-in checkpoints. You know, the little things that let the game know you're racing the track. Problem number 4. Unlocking characters feels so awkward. Most of them are unlocked in the adventure mode with the gems. Entropy is unlocked after beating his time trials, and Velo is unlocked by completing the adventure mode 100% with both teams. Pura is unlocked by performing 50 boosts in rapid succession with Team Bandicoot. You unlock Fake Crash the same way, but with Team Cortex. What the actual shit? If there's somebody out there who can't get used to the controls, they're fucked. I'm not going to cover the Wampa Fruit or the slide boosts, as what I said about them in CTR applies to here, since it's just CTR on Gen 6 consoles. Correction, a slightly broken version of CTR on Gen 6 consoles. Problem number 5. The bosses don't have different music in their races. Yes, the bosses in CTR had the same race music, but at least it was different from the track's music. Here they don't even bother. What in the literal fuck? Speaking of the music, let's briefly talk about the soundtrack.
It's alright, I guess. I mean, compared to other Crash games, it is pretty weak, but it's still somewhat memorable. Take a listen sometime.
Well, that was Crash Nitro Kart. You know, it's not that bad of a game. However, Vicarious Visions tried to emulate what Naughty Dog did with CTR, and as a result, they fell flat on their face. Luckily, they were able to get back up with the Sane Trilogy. After seeing that Beanox was making Nitro fueled, there was a little side of me that was saying, thank fuck. Not that I don't believe VV could bounce back from Crash Nitro Kart, but it was one of very few kart racers they made, and it showed. I guess you can argue and say Naughty Dog had no kart racing experience when they made CTR, and I'm inclined to agree. However, they were able to execute their game properly. I can't say the same for Nitro Kart. If you missed out on this game as a kid, don't worry. I would sooner buy CTR anyways. I give Crash Nitro Kart a final score of... Yes, I bumped up the score, but not by a lot. Do I think it's a bad game? No. It's still worth giving it a go, but play CTR first.